Welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
You made yourself laugh that time.
Yeah, it was definitely a mixture of the two that I've done on the last. It was like, we are the command. Yeah. Yep.
This is episode 173. And what are we doing today? Are we still talking salty?
We're doing Salty 32.
Woo! We had a bracket and shit went down. It was pretty crazy, actually.
I mean, half of the cards lost in our Salty 64.
Yes, they did.
As tournaments go.
Yeah. So we're now down to 32. And the 32, we're going to go over all this stuff in a little bit here. But the 32, these are going to be tough ones. Like,
yes.
So we did... you made that empty bracket. Did you fill one out? I know you didn't post it or anything, but did you kind of do that at all?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I had some trouble filling that sucker out, and I'm interested to see where this is going to go. But that's not all we're doing today. What else are we doing for this podcast?
Modern Horizons 2 is out.
What are all those finger?
It is fully spoiled, and there are 13-ish new legends that we will go over. So we're doing Commander 99 or garbage.
Moff garbage.
There's
some that
garbage. Just aren't going to be good for us.
Yeah.
They might be good for other things, but not for us.
For us, yeah. So we're just doing those two. So again, we're missing out on Stump the Smith Savant.
Yeah.
So I might as well just get a Hello Boobies in there just because every episode has to have a Hello Boobies if I can find it.
Well, I mean, they don't. Maybe Wizards of the Coast is listening to this one and like, we just ruined our shot. And they're like, hey, these guys have cleaned up their act from the last 3 years. They're not swearing as much.
Hello,
boobies. And the boobies. And they're like, no more
boobies isn't a swear word. That's like a nice thing. It's like...
Yeah, but that's like 18 plus, not 13 plus, like on the packaging, 14 plus or whatever. That's what they need.
Yeah. Remember when what was that whole thing that went down? Was that like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago? Where it was like something about your brand that makes it sound really dirty. And then Wizards did that tweet about 13 plus or whatever. And Trombley got kind of wrapped into that. Remember? I don't remember.
Yeah, he was the one that
he tagged Wizards into saying it because all the other big companies were, and then they went off of his and did that, and then they're like, "Yeah, this guy in Minnesota
got somebody fired."
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's the two we're doing. We're not doing one spec again. Modern Horizons 2 is coming here, so
are you gonna press a button for one spec?
Gandalf. Oh yeah, might as well. We got Gandalf. We'll do Gandalf.
If we're gonna do Hello Boobies, I want to hear.
Well, I got so
Gandalf talk.
In the common tongue, it says one
spec. That's it.
That part. That's just refreshing. Spec.
Spec.
I don't even know why Gandalf said it like that.
This past week when I was at the funeral stuff, and I was like, because she's the reason that I got into Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, yeah. It's even brought itself into the podcast because we have Lord of the Rings in there, and I played her that stuff, so she was pretty impressed. Cool story, Hansel. What are you drinking there, Lowery?
I'm all done. Firestone Propagator Series Citra Single Hop Hazy IPA, hints of grapefruit and citrus, and it's a solid beer. I like it. It has some bitter to it, but it's not like overpowering. I think that's part of like the citrus and then the hazy IPA part. I think I like it. Hazy IPAs.
Are you getting another one, or do you need me to take a pause on this podcast so you can go get a beer?
No.
It's another. Huzzah!
I come prepared.
I don't know why all of a sudden huzzah started coming into my vocabulary, but when I was in Florida, I said huzzah a lot. And my aunt's just like, oh, that's unique. I'm like, I just started saying it. I don't know why I started saying it. I'm drinking Lambrusco because this was the last of it, and I'm trying to stay away from my gout toe stuff. You know, the old gout toe.
Isn't that just a wine, though? Like a sweet wine?
It's a wine.
Okay. Oh.
I had soccer last night for the first time in 2 years, and that kicked my ass. Toe is doing all right, but we had 3 subs. So remember, it's 94 degrees here. This was 7 o'clock last night. It was 94 degrees. We had 3 subs. By halftime, we were down a guy. We lost 4 people.
Oh, like cramping?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awful. And then we even got like breaks halfway through the half. So it went by quarters basically. And by halftime we were down a guy, and we got our asses kicked because there's a bunch of old guys.
Yep.
Against a bunch of 22-year-olds, and they fucking rocked us. Well, it didn't help because everybody was fucking cramped and people are playing positions that they like. Even Trombley is normally our goalie, and one of the guys was like, I can't even run, so can I take goalie? And so Trombley gets on the field and he's like, I've never been on the field in like 5-6 years. So he was kicking himself because there was the ball was coming and he completely like whiffed it and they just dribbled on by and scored. He's like, this is why I'm not on the field. But yeah, so the gout toe held up all right. The thing I'm noticing is now when I do like really big exercise stuff, I can feel it. So it like hurts, but it doesn't hurt like gout. It just like has pain, like a sore muscle kind of thing.
That's probably like scar tissue or like
the crystal's still sitting in there, just like
crystals grinding up. Yeah, that's probably not good.
Yeah. So,
but
needless to say, Florida was good. Was interesting. Went quick, but everything went all right. It didn't kill my mom. Didn't kill anybody else.
Good. We're cutting
Mom,
that,
if you're
right?
listening to this, I'm glad I didn't kill you. I didn't even get a chance to really talk to her at all. It was just kind of a whirlwind. We were down there. Some days we were just driving all over. And then we leave Florida, which was 85 degrees, and we come back to Minnesota, which is 100 degrees. And I was like, this is what I thought Florida was going to feel like.
Yeah.
It was 20 degrees hotter here than it was down in Florida.
I feel like the humidity wasn't that bad here. As it has or could be in Minnesota.
I think you're right, but I feel like the last couple days as it's continued to stay 90, that the humidity is starting to get hot. Like today, I went out and I should get this button ready really quick. Number 2's house hasn't closed yet. Where's my number 2?
Hey, number 2.
But as part of a good real estate agent, I went and mowed his new house's lawn because the people that he's buying from moved out and
they're gone.
Yeah, so they didn't have a mower and everything there. So I was like, I'll go mow it. And so I went over there today and it was 80 degrees and I sweat my balls off. It was pretty bad. But yeah, we're still closing on their house.
You are a good real estate agent.
They're just, yeah.
Anybody else in Minnesota that's looking to sell their house, call Adam at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com.
Yeah. At CommanderSmiths. So then Lowery gets a portion of it because it's part of the email chain right there.
That's it. we split everything 60-40 my way. So
right. I don't know if I like this. Yeah, but we're still closing on the house. Just things got delayed. Good thing the market's kind of crazy. You know, his crap happened. It was buyers were crazy, but yeah, market's insane. You're about to experience that in the next month or so or whatever, but yeah, it's insane.
We're leaving town.
You're getting the hell out of here. All right, so I don't think anything happened since I was gone because it feels weird because we recorded early.
It's been a while.
It feels, since it's only been a week and a half, it feels longer though. Yeah. But anything happened last week and a half? You shaved your goddamn beard.
That's true. Yeah.
If you guys go on YouTube, Lowery looks like a baby. He looks like, here, I got the picture here.
I look like a hairy baby.
This is Lowery's wedding. Let me back it up. This is Larry's wedding day.
That was
how long ago was that?
Almost 5 years.
Yeah,
5 years at the end of July.
Let's see if I can get the focus phone.
So very, very similar, but 50 pounds extra around the body, and
and you're wearing a robe.
And I'm wearing a robe. That's but you know that says roughly 5 years married, right?
Right. You're a robe guy. Yeah. Speaking of the robe, so I showed a video. I think I was showing a short showing that to family,
Yeah.
And Cindy was watching the short and she's like, why the fuck is he wearing a robe? She's like, that robe just looks so tattered and worn. I was like, that's the bit.
That's
like,
the bit.
There's even an episode where we were recording, and then I was like, where's your robe? And you're like, oh, fuck, shit. And you like grabbed your robe and put it on. Like, that's the bit. She's like,
I
it
knew it was a
look
good bit before we even started the podcast or doing YouTube or anything, because I was wearing this. I wear this at night. I got this from my dad. Like, it's Arizona like patterns, but not the color.
Yeah.
And we were watching TV, me and my wife, and randomly her mother stopped by, and I answered the door, and I think she was just dropping off like flowers or whatever, some type of plants, and I saw her. She went like, she was like shocked at the robe, like just going, that is one ugly robe. And I went, I'm going to keep this.
Yeah. Well, the best part is if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Lowery's dress shirt that he has on underneath it right now, because he was at his dad's birthday, his dad's 70th birthday tonight. Yep. And so, yep. And then you have this nice robe over the top of it. It's perfect. All right. I think that's enough BSing. I think we can get right to it since we have a lot of stuff to do here. So, do I have my right opener thing? Okay. So, tags. You can become a patron if you donate $1 or more. That gets you into the Discord, gets you into Battle Box League, just gets you to bullshit with all of us on there. Also, help us finish some tiebreaker votes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The Discord helped out on two of the votings. Two of the votings this week. $5 or more gets you the Proxy of the Week. Each month we send the Proxy of the Week for the last 2 months, and you get to choose from that. And we send you those. And if you're $100 or more, you get to choose from any of the months for each month when we get to that. Mm-hmm. Then you can also support the show. The free way to do it is jump on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Check out our videos like Curated MTG, which was today.
Today's was Pia's Revolution.
Yeah.
Which is a red enchantment that is like Athreos, God of Passage, but for artifacts. And so if you have an artifact going to your graveyard, it goes back into your hand unless you choose target opponent, and they can have 3 damage dealt to them to put it into your graveyard.
So it's a good way to potentially sack your stuff, and they can take 3 damage, or you're getting it right back again. And most of the time, unless it's later in the game, they're going to take the 3 damage to make sure it goes to the graveyard. But then you do some shenanigans where you can bring it back from the graveyard and all that fun stuff too. So
yeah, it seems like it's going to be really cool in my Oscar deck, Oscar the Reconstructor, the new one, red-white.
That would be perfect in there. Yeah. Because doesn't that make the tokens or something if it's in the graveyard?
Yep.
So you're like, you can have this go back to my hand, or you can go to the graveyard and then I can make tokens of it. Yeah. So, but yeah, that seems like it'd be a lot of fun to use in that. You can also see Proxy of the Week, which I did not do last week because I was out of town. This week will be the Vampiric Tutor, finish off the X-Men Tutor or cards that we did.
We know what that's going to be, right?
What?
Is it going to be Mr. Sinister?
Yeah, Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I got 2 arts I'm going to use on that. And then because I missed this last week, I will be posting the digital images of all
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't owe anybody anything.
I know, but I feel like I wanted to put those out there. So I'm going to put the digital images. You got to check that out on Twitter. So make sure to jump on Twitter. Also,
you post that to Discord though too, right?
Yep. I've been doing that with Discord, so that's kind of a perk for being on the Discord. You guys can get the digital images. It's a little different than seeing the post actually from Twitter, but I will post out the digital images on Twitter. And also on Twitter is where you can see the Salty 64. So we have the Salty 64 on there. You can vote for all those cards. There's also a way to win the top 2 prizes, which we'll talk about in a second here on there. But you also see Mail Day, Card Sphere.
Not sharing with Adam,
what you did tonight. Light Beer, what was that? Miller High Life?
Mick Golden Light?
Mick Golden Light, that's what it was.
It's the best stuff. So good.
And then, did we post anything else on there? There's a couple other fun stuff. But, most of the stuff it goes right to our Discord, and then it's like, all right, filter over to the Twitter. But the big thing right now, and at least for the next month and a half or so, is the Salty 64, which will be on
Voting.
there. Vote. So
Can
get
this
out
one,
there and
this,
vote.
Can
Get your
this
sticker.
week be Thirsty 32?
Oh,
Because
thirsty.
last week was salty,
Salty.
and you're thirsty the week after,
The
right?
30.
Does that work?
Doesn't it still have to be salty though? Or now we're at the salty.
It could
32.
be. I mean, they're still salty. Thirsty sounds like they want to fuck.
We were
That's
we were supposed to come up with something for 32. I was like, we got a week and a half to figure it out. We didn't even try until right now. We just remembered. Oh shit!
Let's
we were
start
supposed
working
to come
on
up with
this right now. Maybe we should just do tags.
Yeah. All right. So you can also direct message us there on Twitter, or you can shoot us an email at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. So that is it. That is everything. Now it is time to get into this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
We bring you the saltiest cards in Commander with the Salty 64.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Get your salty. 64. Salty. 64. Salty. 64. Salty.
Shit, that's good.
Y'all ready for this? The longest intro ever. I was surprised we did not get flagged on YouTube for stealing a bunch of that stuff, but
Well,
hey,
our
now they
lawyer
will 'cause I
didn't
said it.
warn us about it
Our
too.
lawyer, yes,
Our lawyer.
lawyer number 2.
Hey, number 2.
Hey, number 2. All right. So what we are going to do today is we're not going to go through all 64 teams again, but we are going to go through what happened this past week and what the results were and what the new matchups are. So just a reminder, the way to vote for this, well, one, hashtag MTG Salty64. So here's the giveaway part. So if you did this last week, you get to do it again this week. And if your team is still, or your card is still alive, I'm pretty sure everybody that voted for cards that won pretty handily this week. But what you can do is go on Twitter after we tweet it out with hashtag MTG Salty64, and then you put what card you want to win, what you think is going to win the entire thing. At the end, we are going to take whatever the winner was, tally up how many votes it got from everybody. So if you got the right card from the beginning, you're getting, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 votes, I think is what the total comes to. 7 votes
Six.
if you got
Six.
the right card.
Six.
6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then the 7, right? 1, 2, 3,
4,
5,
6.
6. But
Six
then it
would
ends
be
up
the
being
championship.
7. Oh, yeah, because you wouldn't vote for it already won. So,
Yeah.
I vote for this one. Well, that's the only one you can choose.
You're a winner, Harry.
Nice. That was good. So you'll get, if you had the right team from the beginning, for example, you'd have 6 votes. Well, let's say your team gets knocked out. I keep saying team, but it's really your.
Well, you got a very thematic team music at the beginning.
Well, let's say your card gets knocked out after the 3rd week. Well, that doesn't mean you're out of it. Then you can pick a new card. You still have a chance to win, even if it's the very last week and you choose the right winner. You still have an entry in it. So then at the end, we will do a drawing, and the winner will get Winter Orb and Expropriate, or is it Static Orb? Static Orb.
Static Orb.
Static Orb. I wrote Winter. Why did I do that? Static Orb.
Because Winter Orb killed.
It did. Not as good as Hull Breacher. That was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Okay, so you will win both Expropriate and Static Orb. So hashtag MTG Salty64. Now, if you want to vote, the way to vote for this, we're going to make it a little easier this week. Hashtag vote Salty32. So that's just, if you're wanting to find how to vote for these, just go on Twitter, hashtag Salty32. Vote Salty32. Yep. Okay? That's easy.
And really, you can just go under CommanderSmiths, go to our tweets, slide down, because this is what we're doing for the week. You might see my curated, but That's you'll find this round's voting pretty quick
Exactly.
if you just go under our
Yeah.
tweet section.
The other thing you can do, if you don't have Twitter and you don't want to get Twitter, just make a burner account, or you can make multiple accounts if you want. I'm giving ideas for people here. You can do like Seth from Discord did and make CommanderSmiths.
Makes sense to me.
It's perfect.
Yep.
You can just make up a name that whatever, be unique with it or whatever, but then you get to vote. Like,
I mean, don't make up a second Commander Gouts though. Like that's do something else.
Which I have to also make mention. There was another one that started, which is CMD 2 dime _ that one. I want. Hey, I host a podcast. Check it out. That's pretty fantastic. So I don't even know who that one is. I knew Seth's, but I want to know who that one is. So you be unique with it. If you don't want to have a Twitter account, that's totally fine. But then it gets you a chance to vote and potentially win. Even if you don't want to win something, it at least gets you a chance to vote. So that being said, why don't we jump into the results of everything? So we're going to start off on the Lowery bracket.
Yes.
And we're just going to go through it. So, Lowery, why don't you just start off with the first one? How did everything go with that?
All right. So my number one seed was a Static Orb going against Mind Crank, and obviously Static Orb won that at 96%.
Holy balls.
Yeah, that was a big time beating. And then the second one was I'm not sure what seed it was, but Jin Cataxius was the higher seed, actually upset by Gaddock Teague
by quite a bit,
by 72%.
Yeah,
and I remember having Gaddock Teague. That was one of them that I was like, I don't think this fits. Like, and I kept on pushing it down, and it made it into the second round, and I clearly was wrong.
Yeah, there was I think we had 5 upsets maybe, and this was one of them that kind of surprised me, and it made it here.
And so
but
now
it's that taxing part. We're making it people not able to do. I think that's part of the reason why that one easily beat Jin on that one.
Jin Cataxius is like so expensive, so it might just not come down nearly as much as a commander of 2 mana.
Right.
2. So
2.
So right now we have Static Orb against Gaddock Teague. And
Static Orb.
I think Static Orb still takes this.
But it's going to be closer than 96%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I overplayed the Static Orb part.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. A lot of people, the brackets I saw from people, and I think my bracket included, had your Static Orb making it to the finals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So your orb was up there. So we'll see. There's some. This one's going to be, I think this round for Static Orb, and we'll get to the next one in a second.
60-40.
But this one's tougher than the next round. If it makes it past this round, it's going to beat the next one, because let's go over the next. Then your next bracket, you went Cathar's Crusade, your little guy there, went against Orloro, and it didn't get crushed, but it got beat. Your Cathar is, so this is another upset, got 57% of the votes was Orloro. So Orloro
I'm pretty upset about that.
Yeah. But a much closer match was Wandering Archaic. There was times when Wandering Archaic was ahead, up against Derevi, and Derevi won 53%. So that was a pretty close one right there.
It's very close.
God, that was so Minnesotan right there. I was like, oh yeah, that was a pretty close one right there.
Such a good game.
But yeah, I was surprised. I thought Wandering Archaic was going to make it out of that round.
I think if we would do this bracket next year, Wandering Archaic wins this match. It's only been out for like
time to breathe. Yeah.
It's only been out for like 6 weeks at this point.
Right.
Like
I bet you're right.
And Derevi's a hated stacks commander.
And I voted for Wander. I voted in this. I was like Wandering Archaic because I played it like multiple times and it sucks. With this matchup though, Orloro and Derevi, where do you think things lie on that? I have
these are 2 old commanders actually from the same set that came out. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think this goes to Derevi pretty soundly. Just again, stacks fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like Orloro's annoying because you can't really do anything about it, but Derevi sucks.
Yep. Orloro is just gaining life. You know.
Yeah.
The decks
you just
typically
can't do anything about it, you know.
Yeah, it's life. It's you'll figure out a way to deal with it later. It's not really that salty of a card out, you know. I don't think Aloro. It was a tough one to even have in here for me because I have an Aloro deck, but it isn't that salty of a deck. It's an enchantment.
And I hate it because I kind of chose Aloro to be a soft spot to get Cathar's Crusade into the second round, and then it still lost.
Yeah.
That's probably the most saltiest thing about this bracket for me.
You tried to get
both
Cathar's
of my high picks lost.
Yeah. All right, what is our next matchup of your bracket here? So okay, really quick. That's where I was saying whoever wins here, Aloro and Derevi, is going to easily get blown out by Static Orb, or if Teague makes it on. Whatever winner, I believe, is just going to blow this one out. So.
Oh, I can see like Derevi and Teague being a good match, but Static Orb is just going to crush.
Yeah. All right, so what is the next one, the results here?
Next, top seed would be Send Triplets, and that was against Magister Sphinx, and Send Triplets wins that matchup by 81%.
Killed.
People don't, as Bill from Woodbury said, people don't like their opponent's grubby hands on their cards.
Yeah.
And I totally agree.
Yeah. But the most closest battle we had was one that ended at 50%. What was that?
It was Thieves Auction and Soren Markov.
Man, this sucker went back and forth. Like one was like one vote ahead, and then the other one, then it was tied, and then it went one vote ahead the other way, and then it was tied, and then I texted you. What was it? I think last night you like gave it to one. Yeah, and I was like, dude, the other one's winning now. And you're like, what? I just fucking checked it, and so we ended up 50-50. So we put it up to the Discord. To vote today, and that ended up, what was it? I believe that ended up 11-7. So it was still pretty close, but 11 went in favor of which one?
Soren Markov.
Yep. So Soren moves on to the next round, and so that one's the one that makes your life total 10. And I will say, Soren was my pick only because I've faced it so many times, and I feel like half of those times you have it, and half of those times or more I am your target. And even when it's not you, I feel like it's Adam gets Soren, and I always am just like, yep, I know it's coming. Like I'm just like already prepared, turning my dice to 10. All right, going to 10.
But so this round is going to be Send Triplets versus Soren Markov.
Ooh.
I think that's going to be a good match, much closer than
I would personally vote Soren.
Really? I think Send Triplets. Send
why
Triplets is going to take this.
Yes,
at
but
60,
I would
at
vote
like 60-40,
Soren.
70-30. But
I can agree with that. But I have faced Soren so many times and been on the butt end of that, and I have a triplets deck, or I had a triplets deck, so I don't mind it that much.
Like, that's not that bad.
Yeah. So but I agree with you. I think triplets will probably make it out of this round, but Soren would be what my vote is. All right. So then the next part of this bracket is. You had Tigrid going against Mesmeric Orb. You had your orbs, your collection of orbs.
Yeah, my collection of orbs.
And Tigrid comes out in front at 73%. So that was a pretty big butt whooping there.
Yeah, the random mill cards that the Mindcrank and Mesmeric Orb went up against hard targets, but they did not fare well either way.
Now, this one was a lot closer than I thought was going to be. But Ristic Study went against Hushbringer. And I do remember at one point Hushbringer was in the lead. That was early on.
It was.
But Ristic ends up pulling out the win with 67%. That was much closer than I thought it was. I thought Ristic was going to run away with it. But Hushbringer shutting down, isn't it ETB effects is what Hushbringer?
And death triggers.
So it does,
it kills both. And so I didn't expect Hushbringer. I don't think I have it in any decks.
No, I haven't seen it.
Should probably.
We spec'd on it. I at least spec'd on full arts of this because I think it's a really good card. I just haven't played it. I haven't played white, and I haven't seen it be played either.
Yeah.
So
for somebody that only plays mono red, but Ristic Study is like holistically like annoying card.
Right.
Just you gonna pay the one?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pay the one?
with this,
somebody's
Tigrid.
getting a rash just hearing me say that.
Right.
I'm sure, because they're listening. So
down here.
Gross.
So with the Tigrid and Ristic match, though,
That's gonna be a good one.
I think so too. But I'm probably leaning Ristic on this one.
I agree. Just because it's been around longer. Again, Tigrid's only been around for 3-4 months at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is it only that much?
Yeah. There's a lot of pent up emotion with Ristic Study, in my opinion.
Yep.
So
that'll be close. All right. Then we move to the bottom part of your bracket. What is the next matchup we have here?
this one was closer than I anticipated as well.
Yeah.
Jockle-Hops, which destroys literally everything on the board,
Mm-hmm.
versus Mana Web, which has opponents keep, like, if they tap a land, they got to tap all their land. Jockle-Hops won that by 63%.
That's
This is my second.
Yeah, this was your
my
number
second
2
seed?
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it won by 63%. I am floored. And then the next matchup was Triumph of the Hordes versus
Going against
Constant
one of your
Mists.
picks. One of your
Yeah, I guess I could see that one losing, but
Yeah.
Constant Mists is my saltiness, and it got trounced by Triumph of the Hordes by 83%.
that's
And
your
so
third
this
highest trouncing in your whole on your bracket.
Yeah,
1, 2,
yeah.
the third highest trouncing.
And so the second round is going to be Jockle-Hops versus Triumph of the Hordes. That's going to be close.
What would your
Right?
vote be? Because we haven't seen Jockle-Hops played.
Yeah.
So personally, Jockle-Hops wouldn't even be a factor of mine because it's like I haven't seen it, but I try to put myself in the situation. I've seen Triumph because I'm the one playing it.
I think this
so-
is just really close. I think with Triumph being a well-known and consistently used game ender,
game winner,
or
yeah.
at least like person killer.
But what makes it more salty that you just lost by poison? Well, that would be you.
Yeah.
Or
that'd be salty.
Jockle-Hops expanding the game because you just destroyed everything and everybody's starting from zero. Basically,
That to me would make me more salty.
I
Just
think
going
so,
like,
too.
okay, you just added an hour onto the game. You have no plan to, like, if somebody went Boros Charm, make all of my stuff indestructible, then Jockle-Hops, then I'd be like, cool, good game.
you just won. Good job.
Yeah. But if they just expanded the game, for sure Jockle-Hops. I'd be like, fuck that card.
Speaking like doing it that way, I probably would do Jockle-Hops, I guess.
But I think Triumph is going to win
Triumph
just
is-
because of how prevalent it is in the game.
How many times is a game winner? How many times do you lose to Triumph? How many times have you
Enough.
lost to Triumph?
Enough times. Enough.
All right, the next matchup is Aura Shards going against Oko. I am surprised by this. Actually, it's really close because there was a point that Oko was ahead, but Aura Shards ended up winning 62% of the votes.
Yeah.
And that is going to be going against, we had Mindslaver going against Agent of Treachery. So
Yeah.
kind of similar-ish. It's dealing with what? Mindslaver's taking the turn. Agent of Treachery's taking stuff.
Permanence.
So, but Mindslaver kind of kicked ass and won 80% of the votes there. So we have Aura Shards going against Mindslaver. I feel like this one's almost a no-brainer for me, but
What are you?
I'm thinking Mindslaver is going to win
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, I think
it's gonna-
Mindslaver destroys this one too. It's that grubby hand part.
Right.
Like, don't. Not only are you touching my cards, but you are like doing everything I don't want you to do.
Taking my turn, you bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That seems pretty terrible. So
I
I
don't
think
like
that one will
that.
be a runaway with Mindslaver on that. All right, the next matchup we got going.
All right, Grand Arbiter. I'm starting
Yeah.
to feel a little bit.
You don't need to do the whole name of it, just Grand Arbiter.
Grand Arbiter was going up against Notion Thief, and Grand Arbiter won by 77%. I would have expected that.
See, I went the other way. I think I even voted for Notion Thief on this
Did
one.
you really?
Yeah, because, I mean, I said it in the cast the last time. Grand Arbiter, every time it's been played against me, it's either I had Rashmi, which it didn't really affect me much because everything's low costing, or I've been playing Eureka. So it's like, I don't even care. Because I'm just...
I'm not casting anything.
I'm
just
ninjutsuing everything
yeah.
in, so whatever. But I understand. I understand why it won. But
Yeah.
what is it going against?
And then the next section was Emrakul The new one that's not banned, clearly, Against Bribery, which goes in and steals a card from an opponent. And Emrakul won this by 68%. And
I was surprised about that one too, actually. I thought Bribery.
I am as well.
Because that's going through their deck and taking a card and putting it into play. Like,
I think Bribery is so old school that
people
it
don't
might
know
just
about
not
it as
be.
much.
I just don't think it's used enough. And I think that's
did you say used a muff?
used to muff garbage. Let's get on. I think there are some of these cards that are already kind of like rule zeroed out where people are like, that's too mean. I don't want to do that. So you don't see it as much, so you don't hate it as much.
Yeah.
And so I do think some of these cards are going to be hurt from that. And I think Bribery is one of those cards that just lost out. Although Emrakul
if
is
they
an awful
reprinted
card to play
that
against.
in like a newer set, I bet you it would probably change and be a little bit higher on the list. You know, probably put up a bigger fight. Yeah. Who do you think is going to win out of Emrakul and Grand Arbiter then?
I think that's a really close one. I don't know.
These are this second round matchups are insane. Like, this is going to be really tough. I think I'm probably leaning Grand Arbiter because of the tax stuff and having your stuff cost less.
I think
the only
people
problem
get
is
super salty about Emrakul though, because you also have the standard implications with that, where people like it was so good it got banned and stuff like that, and that's
it can go in any deck
pretty
pretty much because it's colorless. So there's that.
So I think Emrakul has a real chance.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a good one. Excuse me, it's gonna be a really good one. All right, then we move into your last matchup of your bracket. The second biggest butt whooping was from Winter Orb against Scrambleverse. That won 92% of the vote. Scrambleverse did. Just kidding. Winter Orb did. And then our second matchup was Torment of Hailfire going against Food Chain. This one was pretty damn close, but Hailfire, Torment of Hailfire came out at 59%. It's pretty obvious who's going to win this one.
Yeah, Winter Orb versus Torment of Hailfire. Winter Orb. Orb.
I want to be at the level you're at. I might have to go get some whiskey before we get into the.
Oh boy.
All right, let me start the top bracket here. So then we'll jump over to my side. So this is my side of the bracket. My number one was Expropriate going against Collector Oath. This one was a little closer. It was not
way closer than I thought.
Yeah, but yours was a 96% win. Your number one, 96%.
Yeah.
My number one won 72%. I think because of the turning off artifacts. Everybody plays mono rocks.
Yeah.
The people got
but I think you reached on Expropriate. I think that shows, and you're just like, I want an expensive card to give away.
Exactly. That is because there's obvious ones later there. It's like, fuck, those probably should have been my number ones. But Expropriate, it won 72%. That's still a good number, but it's not for a number one choice going against the last choice. Whoops. So then Gaia's Cradle went against Back to Basics. So Gaia's Cradle was the higher seed, not by a lot, but it was the higher seed. Ended up losing to Back to Basics, which is kind of understandable, but lost 68% or 68%. Back to Basics won.
Not very close.
Not close, but that makes sense. I mean, Back to Basics is tapping your lands out, and now okay. So the more important thing is, how is this one going to go? Back to Basics against Expropriate? That one's a really close matchup.
It's a very close matchup. I
don't, and I'm taking out my bias of that's my number one, because I don't personally in my bracket I didn't have Expropriate making it even to the finals. So, I almost might go Back to Basics with that.
I think that has a real good chance. I think this is going to be like 50. Like in the 50s.
Yeah, 50s.
It's going to be really
It's funny.
53,
you look at
47.
the top, your number one and my number one, these matchups are good. Like Teague against Static Orb, I think obviously Orb is going to win. I think that has a better chance than Expropriate.
But it's closer than I...
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be closer. But Back to Basics and Expropriate are really close and equal. I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. What is the next matchup that was on this side?
Next one was Opposition Agent versus Teferi's Protection, and I think a lot of people were like, Teferi's Protection doesn't even make me salty.
Yeah, exactly.
And they would have been right if they said that.
Yeah.
Opposition Agent won at 88%. And then the next one would be Blood Moon versus Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim. And that was also a crushing by the top seed there, with Blood Moon winning at 83%.
Yikes. Yeah, those,
But this next matchup, holy
opposition
crap.
against Blood
Opposition
Moon?
Agent, Blood Moon.
What the fuck do you vote for?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I mean, I play mono red, so I love Blood Moon, but I know how much Blood Moon is hated when I play it, or when
and it's
I've
been
had
around forever. It crushes in modern. Like, there's a lot of
But Opposition Agent,
pent up sexual frustration with Blood Moon.
it's that time of month and we
But
can't do it.
But gross. But
I know what the
with
opener is going to
Opposition
be.
Agent-
I'm just kidding.
Opposition Agent, people just talk about it with disdain.
Yeah, it's shut.
They're just like, that fucking card.
And it's only been out for 8 months or whatever since December.
No, it came out in December.
Yeah, so we're at 6 months right now. Yeah, it's not out
Yeah.
that long. I think Blood Moon might get it, but again, this is going to be like the expropriate bracket. They're going to be close.
It's going to be really close.
Really close. All right, the next one.
I think Opposition
You think
Agent.
okay? What did I say?
I
Did
think
I say
so.
Blood Moon?
You said
So-
Blood Moon. Yeah,
Blood Moon. You had beers on the boat too, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Nice. All right. So then the next matchup was Cyclonic Rift against Stranglehold. Cyclonic Rift whooped up on Stranglehold.
Holy shit. More than one person voted for Stranglehold. What?
Yeah. I know.
I thought it was a misclick on Stranglehold, but
The person that voted that chimed in
In
to
the
get
morning?
Stranglehold on the list. You know.
Yeah.
That's the, so 85% for Cyclonic Rift.
oh, yep.
Yeah, so it kind of whooped up there. And then we had Sliver Hive Lord going against Dranith. Dranith kind of kicked it, 72%.
I am surprised.
I am
this
too.
is
I
definitely
thought
a
Slivers-
surprise by me.
Yeah, I thought Slivers were going to make a better run than that. But yeah, so Dranith pulls out, but what Dranith does is it shuts down your commander.
Yeah.
And anything else that isn't from your hand, but shuts down everybody's opponent's commanders, right? So
Yeah,
that's
opponents.
understandable.
You're fine to go.
Who do you think wins this round?
I think Rift will still beat
I think this one's a little
Dranith
bit.
Magistrate.
This one's unlike the other two. I think this one is gonna more easily. Rift
Yeah.
has a better.
I think it's a
chance.
70-30 matchup.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Getting the 70s. All right, and then what is the next round we had here, or next?
The Planeswalker Karn that shuts down artifacts versus Hikori something or other. I don't.
Yeah,
but
the desk
this-
dude.
Yeah, this was very close.
Yeah, it was very close.
At 56% for Karn. And I think that is. It tells you how much Collector Oath had.
Yeah,
Like people just hate that artifact shutdown. So
and this
Karn
is one-sided.
has
Karn
some legit. Yeah.
only hits opponents, so this is even more. The Hikori dude shuts down. He makes it so your lands don't untap. Besides, what is
Yeah.
it, 1 or 2 a turn or something like that? But the shut
Yeah.
down everybody else's artifacts. It's kind of crazy. But I don't think it has a chance. What the matchup is on the next one?
No, it doesn't. So it's going to be the lower seed is Acquire, and it did not get a single vote
Yeah.
against Hull Breacher.
Oh, this is our only 100% vote, kind of in a
Yeah.
way. 'Cause
Hull Breacher at 100%.
against Karn.
You see that, and you're just kind of like, that has a really good chance to go the whole way.
Even the person
Very
that
good
suggested us to put Acquire on the list did not vote for Acquire.
Yes, they were like, "Oh, that's not a good." No, I hate Hull Breacher.
Yeah,
That was-
Hull Breacher is the worst. Like, this is a
Yep.
card I think I have going to the finals when I did my bracket, because
Did you?
yeah, and it was before it was at 100. Well, I mean, it was at 100% when I did my bracket, but it was before that this was all done. But yeah, I was like, ew, Hull Breacher is a pretty damn good card. So yeah, I think Hull Breacher kind of kills it in this one, even against Karn.
Yep.
All right, so then my number 2 pick, so the bottom part of the bracket, so the number 2 pick was Stasis going against Living End, and that was a big butt whooping there as well. Stasis won at 96%. And then the next matchup was Blightsteel Colossus against Void Winnower. This one was a little closer, but
I was very surprised by this.
yeah, Void Winnower ended up winning 64% of the vote. So the even stuff mattered in this, and people didn't care about the infect as much.
Yeah.
But it was still kind of close. 64 is still pretty decently close. Stasis, in my opinion, is going to kill Void Winnower at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's not gonna be pretty.
Yep. All right, and then the next one, dude, I was actually surprised how close this one was.
So Craterhoof Behemoth against Mana Drain, and Craterhoof Behemoth won at 60%, and I think it's because Mana Drain just was so expensive up until Commander Legends, really. After
I didn't own a
Iconic-
copy until Commander Legends. So
Yes, and so I think it's out there a lot more, but Craterhoof Behemoth, yeah.
yeah.
And then there's Smothering Tithe versus Calamax, and everybody made the correct decision
What?
to vote
Calamax!
for or Smothering Tithe. Calamax isn't salty at all. It's not a problem. Everybody loves
I think it
that
should be
card in
banned,
Commander.
especially when
You need to
Lowery plays
calm
it.
down. Smothering Tithe is much more annoying and salty.
So that won 79%. Okay, so we have Tithe against Craterhoof. Ooh,
Yeah.
this one's kind of tough.
I think it's close. I think it's a battle of not super salty cards, in my opinion. Like lukewarm, and either one of these is going to get destroyed by Stasis. In the next round.
Good point. Good point. I think Tithe would make it for me.
Yeah,
But
probably
I can
me as
see
well.
people voting Craterhoof because it is always a game, kind of the same lines as Triumph of the Hordes. It's Green's way of winning in a lot of times.
Yeah.
More often than not, it's Craterhoof that you see that more than anything because it's easily searchable and really does the game-winning stuff. But salty-wise, I think Tithe is being played quite a bit. It's an every white deck.
A ton.
All right, so then the next matchup was Vorinclex against Arena of the Ancients. Vorinclex crushed at 89%.
Yeah.
And then you had Omniscience against Seedborn Muse. Yes, I said Omniscience. And Omniscience won 68% of the votes. And it's probably not getting any further because it's going against Vorinclex. And there's a lot of
Vorinclex
hate.
has a real shot.
There's a lot of hate going against Vorinclex. So I
Yeah.
don't think that one's getting anywhere after that. And then the last matchup of this Salty 64.
It's going to be Narset, Parter of the Veil versus Imprison in the Moon. Oh, no contest. Narset wins at 88%.
Sweet.
And the bottom one
Well, it's kind of a weird one.
is Armageddon versus Insurrection.
This one-
If you don't feel like you voted on this, it's because you didn't.
Unless you're in the Discord.
We threw it out.
This one
we
was just a
missed putting it
special
on.
Discord voting only. No,
Yeah.
there was 32 of these, and Mr. Adam, yes, I'm talking in third person, was fucking
right.
tired and in
We don't
Florida.
need to blame you. You did a great job. I think those
And
thumbnails look fantastic.
I made a thumbnail for it. I just never posted it, so it never made it out. But the Discord voted, and where did they vote, Lowery?
They voted 100% in favor of hating Armageddon.
Yeah. So Armageddon moves on. Armageddon against Narset? Ooh.
That's a good matchup. I hope Armageddon makes it.
But I've seen Narset. I haven't had Armageddon played against me.
Well, Trombley has it in his
his
deck.
Kalia deck. He did do that that one time.
But he just kind of ends the game pretty quickly after that. So it's like, is it salty? Yeah. After the third time it happens in a day, like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I can see
Narset
Armageddon.
Wheel
sucks. Yeah, anything that deals with not being able to draw more sucks a lot. This one's gonna be close.
I'm gonna say Narset.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Narset.
I might be there with you. I don't like Narset.
But Armageddon might have like that old cachet that's like.
But again, the old stuff
I hate.
Some people have never even had it played against them because it's an older card and people don't see it that often. So,
but
it could
that's
be
why
the
I'm like
bribery
Stasis. Stasis is an old school cachet card where people are like, yes, I hate that card.
I've never seen it played, but I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. I know that I hate it. I don't want to see anything about it. But it goes, if you're not planning with it, it can go away. Like if you're playing fair with it, Stasis just like slows the game down for a couple turns and then it's over.
Yeah.
But everybody abuses it just like they abuse Narset and Hull Breacher. And that's why we hate these fucking cards. Yeah, because you abuse
salty
what's going
ass
on.
Card. Dude, these matchups are awesome. Like this, I'm excited to do the voting on this one. So, like I said before, we're going to put these out. You check out hashtag vote salty32 to find them, or you just go, like Lowery said before, go to our Twitter page and follow us so that you can actually see this, but then you can go down and the voting will be there as well. But if you just want to search it and find all of them, they'll all go up pretty much at the same time now that we're narrowing this list down. And again, if you want to win some prizes, hashtag MTG Salty64 with your pick this week. So if you picked last week, do it again because you also get another entry if if you choose the right card to make it to the top spot. All right, so that was Salty64. I don't need to play that thing again. Okay.
No, I have.
Okay. All right. So now we are gonna get into.
Who am I? Your commander.
99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
You're garbage! You sick old woman! Muff garbage! Muff cabbage!
There we go. Got long intros. I like it. And they like pump you up because X-Men theme just always, you just want to have that on the background.
And just like cultural icons in the Jay-Z, Game of Thrones, South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Like those are pillars right there.
All right. So if you don't know how this works, we are going to go through all the legendary creatures. So basically the ones that can be commanders. There is also a planeswalker mixed in here because technically it can be your commander. Normally we don't.
I don't know if that's on the list. Maybe
it should be. I just did legendary creature. If we get to that one and you're not there, I'll just say that one.
Okay.
But we're gonna go through and we're gonna decide if we think it's commander material, 99 material, or just muff garbage. And that's pretty much it, guys. So the first one I'll go over because Larry's gonna have fun with the next one. But is it? Ave? Okay, Ave. I wrote it down. Ave. I wrote it down like so I'm like enunciating it right, and then I look at it and it's Avenue, and I'm like, no, it's Ave. Progenitor Ooze. So this is 3 green, 2 colorless, and it is a 2/2 legendary creature Ooze. It has Storm. Ave Progenitor Ooze isn't legendary if it's a token. When it enters the battlefield, it enters with a 1/1 counter on it for each other ooze you control. So if you've cast a bunch of stuff and then you cast this, you make a bunch of tokens of this. Basically, it's our ooze.
And then
commander.
they all have different 1/1 counters on it. Because Storm
because it goes in order of
resolves, like the last Storm counter would resolve before the actual card resolves, so the actual card would be the biggest version of it.
Yeah.
But why make this legendary?
I don't know.
Like, why even add in that rule?
Just so they can have the text underneath that's saying that the tokens
aren't legendary. So hold on. This could be kind of cool too if it's in like a green-blue deck and you have like a blue token copy that you can create that would also like copy this. Do you know what I mean?
So this not being your commander, but
Yeah. Okay. So you probably, I don't know.
so
Do I want this as my commander?
it's an ooze commander, I guess, because it works.
Yeah.
With, it gets a 1/1 counter for each other ooze. But is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, I almost put this in the garbage. It is a commander, like it's for the ooze.
Yes.
But do we have
I
enough
agree.
ooze stuff out there to really?
Can be a mono green storm deck.
Oh.
This is like the second green storm card. That's any good? It's good,
I'm leaning towards muff garbage.
I have no interest in building this. How about we say that? I'm okay with that.
All right. Next one, Lowery, go for it.
Asmoran Mardikadasticuladar.
You were the one? Didn't you say it on Discord? You're like, I feel like there's a lot of dicks in there.
There's definitely a lot of dicks in there.
I heard you say a couple dicks.
Mardikadasticuladar. Holy shit.
Now,
Stupid.
number 2 is probably pissed at us right now because he did send a 1 to pronounce it, and I just didn't.
We didn't get it cut up.
We didn't get it cut up, and we thought it'd be funnier for
again.
us to read it. But
fucking butcher it. All right.
All right, what's the card
So
do?
this is it has no mana cost because if there was a mana cost in it, they couldn't fit the full name in it.
That is true.
And apparently this character is in flavor text way back when. So like you can't change his name because it's a known character. As long as it's a human wizard. All right. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay a red or green, so Rakdos, to cast this spell. It's a 3/3. So you can pay, if you've discarded a card, you can pay 1 for a 3/3. When Moran Nomar de Kadais Tinacula Dakar.
A dick car.
When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, then sacrifice 2 food.
Ugh.
Target creature deals 6 damage to itself.
Ugh. All right. The Underworld Cookbook, really quick, is a 1-drop artifact, or it costs 1 to come out. You tap it, discard a card, create a food token. Fucking greatest token in the world. Then you tap 4 and tap it, sacrifice the cookbook, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's just a garbage card. Like, I'm sorry, but
Muff garbage!
the whole thing to me is just muff garbage.
It sounds like a lot of work. I agree.
There's no way this is your commander.
I don't love it as a commander. Why is this a $30 card?
Because of the name. It's the flavor crap, and people go...
It's the flavor crap.
Yeah,
so, 6 damage.
So
if you
Croxa
can,
is a
if
deck
you can,
that this could maybe fit in, and I don't think I'd put it in my Croxa deck, you know?
Yeah, because you don't have any food synergy with it.
Well, yeah, but it's talking about discarding, because that deck's is main idea.
Do you discard, though?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of me discarding as well. Not as often as everybody else, but I do. Everybody discards, blah, blah, blah. In a discard deck, I think we move on from it, but I think it's muff garbage. Where do you?
I'm okay with that.
Muff garbage. Okay.
Like putting it in the 99 probably isn't worth it. I don't want to build with it.
Yeah.
And
Muff garbage!
Yeah. All
right. Next one is Captain Ripley Vance. This is an uncommon. It's a red and 2 colorless. Legendary creature, human pirate. Whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Captain Ripley. Then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. There's a lot of spells to cast in a turn.
3's a lot.
But you're at least doing 4 damage the first time? And then it goes up from there.
Yeah. Is that good?
Mouth garbage!
3 spells is a lot. And I had
And
a cum bubble
if
there,
that's your
sorry.
commander, and you're a mono red, casting 3 spells. In
You're
a
having to
turn.
refill your hand. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to get enough. And what is it? It's not. Is it rummaging? Is what you call when or it's looting, whatever.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of
there's
stuff.
looting and rummaging. Yeah.
Drawing more, maybe getting a bonus of 1 card, but 3 spells. Maybe if this had 2.
Two would be not enough.
Yeah.
You can do 2 pretty consistently.
So it'd have to
But
be
3 is a
2.5.
lot, so it'd be like 2.5.
You'd have to think about casting that 3rd spell, and then it would count, or tap the land for it.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
actually
down
cast
with
it.
Muff Garbage again. Are
Wow.
we're just being fucking ruthless. What's going on?
But this next one's pretty sweet. So get
Is
onto
it?
that one.
Karth, the Lion. 2 colorless, green, black, 3/5 human warrior, legendary creature. Whenever Karth the Lion enters the battlefield or a planeswalker you control dies, whenever Karth ETBs or a planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom, random order. Planeswalker loyalties, abilities you activate cost an additional +1 to activate.
That's fucking awesome.
So,
Okay,
so
really
what's
quick.
that saying is...
Is this the first time that we hear planeswalkers being referred to as dying? Isn't that kind of interesting? I can't think of things. There probably might be, but I don't remember hearing it saying that they die. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of almost like referring to them as like a creature kind of type thing. But
yeah,
that's beside the point with it. But the +1, think of that with like the War of the Spark planeswalkers that only are minuses. This is now plussing. So you can use their ability depending if it's like a 0 or whatever.
So if it's a -2, you just -1 it.
Right.
If it's 0, it's a +1.
Yeah.
And if it's a -0, it's a 0.
And
or a -1, it's a 0.
Plus the fact of this is like it comes into play, you're looking at 7 cards. Taking a planeswalker, putting it in your hand. One of your other planeswalkers dies, 7 cards again. You know, this seems pretty sweet. I almost want this in a 99 Atraxa type build where you're building
That's
with
what I was
planeswalkers more than a commander, because then you're only focused on 2 colors. If this had a couple more colors in it, then it'd be a little bit more fun. But I think
Like
99.
this could really be cool. Like that's Garruk, that's Liliana, that's Vraska, colors. Like there's plenty of those planeswalkers.
Yeah. So it could be commander, but I think you see this probably more in the 99 in other Super Friends decks.
Like how many? Yeah. It's a Super Friends card as long as it's green black. Totally agree. Yep.
99.
All right. So let's see. Here we go. There's so much scrolling because each card has 5 different versions of it. I think
Chainer has a reprint.
Yeah.
But
so then
the next
one I'm probably gonna build because
it's beautiful.
I didn't build one on the last set, and I was actually gonna build that other food commander. Yeah, food commander. But Chatterfang Squirrel General. I finally got to I know you guys have already heard about this, and I've spec'd on it. Everybody knows about it. But now we're going through and deciding if it's a Commander 99 or whatever. 2 green, and it's a Squirrel Wrangler. Is that what it is? Warrior. Warrior. All right. So it has Forest Walk, and it is a 3/3. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 squirrel creature tokens are created instead. You can tap 1, sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets +X, -X until end of turn. So it can kill an Emrakul if you have enough squirrels out there. And it's only 1. You're just sacrificing as many as you want, which is really cool. It's not like you have to tap that many. It's just the 1 black. The thing I want to do with this is build it with like other tokens. So not necessarily make it squirrel based, but it's more of like, hey, I'm going to make treasure tokens here. Or I'm going to make
clue tokens.
Not food. I won't make
Beast tokens.
Anytime you just think
Elf
I
tokens?
kind of want to build a different kind of deck than just going squirrel
Squirrels on
tribal.
squirrels.
Yeah. So
Well, but either way, this card is bonkers.
yeah.
I was looking at this a little bit like it's a Parallel Lives, but for 3 mana, and then you don't get to double those tokens, but you get to double the amount of tokens that you're getting.
Right.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what tokens you're being made. It just you make your tokens, and then you get these bonus little squirrels on the other side.
Avenger of Zendikar for 7 plus 7, 7 plants, 7 squirrels.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tap 1, kill off a creature.
Yeah.
Or buff your creature enough that doesn't die and kill somebody else. It's instant speed stuff, so you could do some mighty damage with this. So yeah,
Card's cool for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So obviously,
Commander.
And 99.
And
like
99. Yeah, that's a
I
good
would
card.
just put this into
Commander.
a green-black token deck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. Oh, dude, I love this one too. I don't know.
I get
can't
this
wait.
one?
Yes, you get this one because I got the scroll one. You get this
I got
one.
Karth earlier, and now I'm going to talk about Garth, the one-eyed. It is Wooburg, so white, blue, black, red, green, human wizard, 5/5, legendary creature. You can tap it. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among these names: Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus.
What?
Create a copy
Lotus.
of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy.
So I haven't seen it yet.
So Disenchant.
They
so
gotta
you tap.
give us token cards with this. So you're gonna.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
So that's why I'm really excited. I'm fucking making a Black Lotus proxy.
I thought you
That
were going to
is
spec
coming.
on Black Lotus.
Oh yeah, right. I know other Fast Finance, they spec'd on like Terror, like the top ends of Terrors and Shivan Dragons and all that. But no, I'm really excited to make a proxy of Black Lotus because it's never been a part of this. Like, fuck, it's not even legal in Commander.
It's not real.
Yeah. So now I'm going to make one that doesn't really even have a casting cost because it's that won't be part of it because it's a token copy. So I think this card's really fucking cool. Like, it's a little nostalgic with the stuff that it has in there. They're not all that good, some of that stuff.
Well, no, they're all old school playable.
Right. But that's what's cool is like
Brain Geyser.
Does this not go in every 5-color deck? Like, it doesn't need to be the commander. I think this is better as a 99 as your utility card because it has utility built in on a stick. You get either Mono Rocks with your Black Lotus, you get your Recursion with your Regrowth, you get a creature that's big, you get Destroy a creature with Terror, you get Brain Geyser, which is drawing, and you get Disenchant, which is destroy a artifact or enchantment. Or no, is it just enchantment? No, it's artifact or enchantment, right?
Artifact and enchantment. What does Brain Geyser do?
Isn't that one the draw one?
Drawing cards? Yeah, that's probably right.
Let's make sure before we make that I make that claim and then be really wrong. Brain Geyser.
Is it blue colorless?
I believe that's what it is. Blue colorless. Target player must draw X cards. So
or X. Yeah.
It fits
X.
every part of basically the game except you don't have like protection on there or something like that. But
yeah,
just by tapping it, you get to do one of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And if you're able to blink it and make it come back into play, you can do it all over again.
Yes. Yep. That is the thing. You do have to cast.
Right. But that's
these
what I'm saying.
Cards still.
Well, no. You put that into play. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name.
But in the parentheses, you still pay its costs.
Oh, so oh, you're right. Shit. Okay, so that's bringing it down a little bit. My excited level is coming down.
Well, I mean, just like that'd be really cool just to like tap it and like Shivan Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing.
That'd be badass.
Until I didn't keep reading. or listen to you read. I just heard Black
I didn't
Lotus.
say that part.
No, yeah,
it's
because I
in
went.
print. I always
Black
skip that.
Lotus.
So this, are you putting this into, like, everything seems reasonable, like the Disenchant, Terror, Regrowth, and Black Lotus are all
Shivan
reasonable.
Dragon is probably one that doesn't get cast that often because you're casting
And Brain
6.
Geyser, just like if you need more cards, that
Right.
works. But that's still solid utility.
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. 5-color decks. Think of it.
Use this?
Slivers. I mean, you could use this in Slivers. You could use this in. It's a little tougher in Slivers because Slivers all go off each other. But any other 5-color deck, don't you think this goes in there as it's a utility card built in on a stick?
Yeah, it definitely
takes
can
up-
be a utility card.
And
I'm not gonna disagree
there's
with you on
6
that.
options there. You're really only using 5 of the utility. The Shivan Dragon's kind of like a bonus, whatever. You're probably not going to use that one. You're going to use the other 5 on it. You know?
It's a nice game, game ender per se. Like nobody uses it anymore. But if it comes attached to fucking Black Lotus, like, you know what I mean? I get a Black Lotus, and then the next turn I can pay 3 and use the Lotus
and get a
Shivan Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, sure,
Yeah.
I'm down.
No, so I more put this in the
99,
but I don't know if I'd want this as my commander. I think I'm more of a 90s.
99.
Make a copy of the card with the chosen name. So it's not like making a token. It's a copy of the card,
Yeah.
right? So like it doesn't work with like Chatterfang,
Yeah.
because like that'd be cool. But like there isn't really any way to double this. Like maybe Strionic Resonator, like where you tap this, you choose, and then you're copying it.
What you could do your fork abilities type stuff because then you're casting the spell and double it, make 2.
Do I want to use Fork on a Disenchant?
Maybe. You never know.
No, I do not.
I think you should change your Calamax deck to this one because I don't know.
I don't even have doublers in Calamax.
I don't know.
You guys are so salty about that.
So I put 99 though. Are you putting it at 99 or are you
Yeah. I can be convinced either way.
Or would you
Commander
want this as your
99.
commander?
I think
what
it'd be
else
fun.
is in the deck? If it's
do you
your
mean?
commander.
Like blink it so you could reuse it.
So
Stuff
you
that
just
allows you to
focused on him
untap and tap
blinking?
on it. Yeah, or just untapping, tapping, and using it. That's just to reset it so that you can use the.
Use it multiple turns. You have
Yeah.
haste on it, so you can do it the first turn it comes into play.
I think the big
Flicker
problem
it.
is like you need to still cast it.
Helm of the Host on it. Holy balls.
That'd be cool.
Or there's a lot of the red stuff because I've dealt with red lately of when it comes into play and you're making a token copy of it and then you can use it that turn so you can pick the one that you want to use. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh. Okay.
But
I
those
can be
would stay
convinced.
legendary, right?
But you can tap it still when it hits,
Yeah.
right?
No, not in between. You'd have to choose.
I was hoping.
But there's the blue-green card from Strixhaven. That's like the flip card. You do the blue side. All your creatures would turn into Garth.
Well, and we have Sakashima stuff, all that fun stuff where you take the legendary stuff away and all that.
I
Man,
think we're thinking too hard about this.
All right, let's move. It seems fun. I'm excited to make.
I think it's cool.
I'm excited. There's a couple of tokens, or I want to make Black Lotus. That's like coming up here pretty soon after I'm done with all this.
It does sound like you're coming.
Yeah. Zing. All right. General Theros Rockerick. 1 red, white, 3/1 legendary human soldier. Hexproof from monocolored. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white column artifact creature token. It seems very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best.
If this was a 5-color general, I'd be happier.
Whenever you can, yeah. For sure.
But right now you're only going like, I'm going to
Boros.
just jam as many red, white, multicolored cards in here as I possibly can.
Yeah. Does this go in a Boros deck though? Like, does this fit?
Does it just fit into it?
I mean,
a little bit of a problem there is like Boros decks
are typically like
lean heavy into artifacts.
artifact or equipment stuff.
Yeah.
And
This doesn't.
Muff garbage!
it could be a commander, but really,
yeah,
are you gonna build around that?
Muff garbage seems harsh.
Okay.
99.
No, but would you even put it as a 99?
No, I don't think so.
Did you put it as a commander? I mean, it is a commander. It has protection for monocolored
I'd
removal.
like it if we had like a purgatory section too. And just kind of like, maybe one day this could be interesting.
I have more of a podcast body.
That's just the button.
Close
that's
enough.
near.
Close enough. Oh, Jesus. There's a lot of words on this one.
All right, so you're on the planeswalker that is actually can be your commander that doesn't say.
Okay, I don't have that one. So that is yours.
Okay. So Grist, the Hunger Tide, is a planeswalker. It's 1 black and a green for planeswalker Grist. As long as Grist isn't on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect creature in addition to its other types. So its other types are legendary planeswalker Grist. So it's a legendary planeswalker Grist insect. So it is a creature with it, or insect creature.
Yeah.
So that's why this can be your commander here. So the +1. So this is actually going to work really well with Chatterfang. But +1, create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token, then mill a card. If insect card was milled this way, put a 1 loyalty counter on Grist and repeat this process. So if you're putting it in Chatterfang, that isn't going to repeat, but you're going to get two tokens off of it. You can -2 sacrifice a creature when you do destroy target creature or planeswalker. That's pretty sweet. So you kill one of your squirrels and destroy any creature or planeswalker that's on the battlefield. -5, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. So, I hear my door moving. Oh, there's kitties and stuff playing at my door.
Meow. Meow.
As a commander, that seems decent. Sacrifice a creature, has protection. You're getting a creature in its place.
Sounds like a lot of reading.
Did I lose you, Lowery?
No, yeah. All right. But also just like it's a planeswalker that can be a commander, but only because it's a creature, but it's only a creature when it's not in play.
It is the weirdest.
Why not just say this could be your commander, even though it's a modern set? But just say it.
Yeah,
just say it. Why come up with special rules?
That is a really good point. They did that part so that they didn't have to put that and make it so it's in a modern. It's totally It's
or just not do it. You know what I mean?
And I guess also you can search for it when you're going
Worldly
through your
Tutor
library.
or Sylvan Tutor or whatever the fuck. Like, oh, okay. So, like, am I learning a lesson about cards that aren't in play but have like special? Because like I've had to have the discussion about like Zur the Enchanter going and getting Thassa, God of the Sea, and they're like, no, you can't because you have enough devotion. It's a creature. It's like, but it's always an enchantment,
right?
And a creature. The only difference is it's not a creature if it's not devotion on the battlefield. So is this going to be more of the same fucking
So back
discussion?
that up. You can't go and get Thassa with a Worldly Tutor?
But you can. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. You can go get Thassa with a Worldly Tutor. And so it's everything that it says on the card everywhere other than on the battlefield So like if it's on the battlefield and then you don't meet devotion,
Right.
that's not.
That's
a
when it does. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were
that's the
telling me
only place
different. I was
where-
like, what the fuck? This is not how I've been playing this at all.
But the problem is like it's going to be creating these discussions of where the fuck is this, what it is, when it is, when it just isn't necessary.
yeah.
And so
I can be your commander.
I'm going to say it's muff garbage just for the point of being a pain in my ass trying to talk about rules for it.
Muff garbage!
You're there.
But-
I'm more of the
99.
I'm more of the 99 because I think
Yeah.
I don't want this as my commander, but I think I might. It'll fit in Chatterfang
I think it's
pretty
cool.
well.
I think it's utility wise. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So all right,
You could go insect token tribal, insect squirrel token tribal.
But this part I would use because the thing is you're using the like I said with the Chatterfang is I don't want to necessarily be doing squirrel tribal. They're gonna make squirrels when I'm making tokens, and then this has removal built in on it. So anyways, all right. So the next one,
Lonus, the cryptozoologist. Kid can't even read. Green, blue, 1/2 snake elf scout. You can hit the button if you want.
One,
Kid
two,
can't even read.
two.
It's weird when you play it for me.
yeah, I didn't do it for when you did the long name, dude.
You missed that
I
missed
did.
opportunity. All right, there's a lot of words here. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigate, which means create a clue token. Fucking, why would they call it? I never understood why they just called it investigate instead of, say, make a clue token. There's no.
What do you mean?
Well, investigate is a keyword
Yeah.
to go and create a clue token, which means that you need to pay 2 to draw a card. Why not simplify this and just say create a clue?
Yeah.
That's not all. It taps, sacrifice X clues. Why didn't they just say sacrifice X tokens that you investigated for? All right, I'm being a pain in the ass. All right, sacrifice X clue tokens. My wife loves me. All right, target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. What's going on?
Okay. So whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, you make a clue.
No, it investigates.
Well, but you're making a clue. That's your point.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they don't want you to say make a clue. They just want it one word, investigate, which is probably the same amount of letters involved with that. MAKEACLUE.
Create a clue.
So it's 9. 1, 2, 3,
Go
4,
cluing.
5, 6, 7,
Clue,
8,
clue, clue.
9, 10. There's 11 letters in investigate, and there's 9 when you say make a clue.
They didn't make. But did you count the spaces in there?
No, then you're a little more. All right, so then that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that part.
It has an ETB for all your other creatures and stuff like that.
I think that's cool.
God damn, fucking, it's creepy as shit. They're just messing with my door.
Meow meow. Meow meow. And then tap, sacrifice
Give me
X
just a
clues,
second.
I'm rereading it though. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of your library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield.
They're just fucking with me.
Mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. So you get to do one. That player puts the rest on the bottom.
Okay, well let's forget that part because I feel like that part's kind of garbage because one, you're getting rid of your clues. How many clues are you getting rid of? That those potentially can draw you cards. You can tap 2 and sacrifice and draw a card. Where this is, you're sacrificing, let's say 4 of them. You're going 4 deep. let's say you hit a non-land permanent, but what if it's not 4 or less? Then you don't even get to.
Yeah, you don't even get to do anything like that.
Do anything with it. So it's like, why would you even do that? So let's focus on the first part. That first part's kind of cool,
especially for green, blue, 1/2.
For 2 mana to come out.
Yeah.
Ignore that bottom part. I think it's actually pretty decent. I don't like that bottom part as whatever.
Where would the bottom part have to be used to be good? Like, would it be 6 or 8 starts being good? Like, you dig 8, put a 6 to 8 into play. You get to choose. That starts seeming like a 4. Like, digging 4, you're probably not going to hit anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess to me, and I kind of made this argument or whatever when we have that new tireless tracker kind of card that's making treasure tokens instead of clues. And I said, personally, I like the treasures better, even though I know it's not better. I know clues are better, but I like treasures because it's something that you can use right away without having to pay. Like clues, I end up always having like, I make clues, and at the end of the game,
I think treasures are better. They're just super fast mana. They're lotus petals, you know what I mean?
And so I personally like the treasures better because at the end of the game, I always still have clues sitting on my side of the board because I didn't have the mana open because I'm trying to utilize my hand. This kind of gives you that way to not necessarily get rid of them, but maybe in a pinch you're like, fuck, okay, I have all these clues. Let's sacrifice them and see if we hit something.
And a cool thing that I like, because Tireless Tracker is one of my favorite creatures, but so Tireless Tracker counts if a clue has been sacrificed. So you could attack with a Tireless Tracker and they don't block it. Then you could use this, sacrifice all your clues, pump it like, 6/8 like we're talking about, and still get another creature into play. That could be a cool move. Mm-hmm. But again, I think this is a cool 99.
Yes.
And I think this is a cool... Yeah.
Whoops. I'm on the wrong...
Bang, bang, bang.
Wait.
But I also think it's a really cool commander. Like, I think it's discussion-wise, clues aren't amazing, but, like, if you... Again, like, they're drawing cards, but you're already in blue. Like, do you really need that in blue? But if you're on theme, that's cool. I like it as the commander, too. If I was going to build something, I might build this.
ETB, think you'll get double ETB with a lot of that stuff. You're playing ETB stuff.
Creates 2 clues. Oh. I mean, investigates twice. Fucking stupid.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that stuff, I always do. Like the Llanowar, not the Llanowar. It was the elves. When you go search for land, you get an ETB from that, and then you get an ETB from this. So. You don't even necessarily have to have that because if this is your commander, you have ETB built in on a stick that draws you stuff. So I think this could be a very fun commander and a very good 99, like you're saying. So I think both ways in this one. So it is definitely a
99 commander.
A 99 commander. I think it's an awesome. After we figured it out, I feel like that top part I'm going to use more, and the bottom part I'd use more in a pinch.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one, after 20 minutes of talking about that. Peru,
Peru's a country.
Yeah, I know.
And
Peru,
the volatile.
So we have our next Elder Dragon that goes with the original OG ways of the Elder Dragon. So this is 2 red, 2 white, 2 black, Elder Dragon, 7/7 legendary creature. Obviously, flying lifelink at the beginning of your upkeep. So this is why it's similar as the original OG Elder Dragons. Is you have to pay a red, white, and a black. Otherwise, you have to sacrifice it. When it dies, though, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. So that's kind of interesting because it's built into, hey, I'm not going to pay this 3. Kill everything that isn't legendary.
Whoa, hold on. So do you get to gain that much life?
Yes, because it has lifelink on it, because it deals that as well. So you hit everything and you gain a shit ton of life.
That's dope.
Yeah. So this seems like it could be definitely a commander.
Yeah.
You build it around.
Would you put this in Kalia?
then you can
like
kill you.
potential to gain a ton of life, getting rid of a lot of creatures. You're playing a lot of legendary creatures.
But think of this. What if it's in like a token focused deck?
Where you're going to gain a ton of life.
A shit ton of life. You have a bunch of shit out there. You're also wiping everybody else's board.
Sanguine Bond on board, and then just drain everybody or somebody that much.
Use Assemble the Legion in this. Just and then you just wipe them and gain all that life. Dude, this could do some damage.
It seems
and
cool.
Then have a couple things that are legendary so that those are your game winners. You're getting through. You have a bunch of little tokens that you're making throughout the game, but you spatter in, 11 throughout the deck, maybe 11 to 13 legendary stuff so that they don't die from his wipeout. And then everything else is just making a meat force.
Yeah, I think the card is cool. I think it could be 99 or Commander. I'm not like super into it.
No, I'm not building
it. But I can see it both ways, and I don't hate it.
Right.
Does Muff Garbage mean we hate it? Is that what that means?
When we do Muff Garbage?
Like when we're doing it, it's just like,
yeah.
All right.
All right, this next one's fucking crazy.
All right. Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer. I want to take a page from like Big Tuck's book and go, its pre-release price is $110.
By far the most expensive card right now. One of the most expensive cards in this.
Oh, it's definitely is.
I think it is the most expensive card
in the set. So it's 1 red, 2/1 Monkey Pirate. This is the character that goes with Kari Zev from Aether Revolt.
Okay.
If you remember that?
Is he he's the one that's...
When you attack with Kari Zev, it creates the 2/1 Ragavan.
Yep.
That is this character.
Gotcha.
All right. 2/1 Monkey Pirate. Whenever Ragavan Nimble Pilfer deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. And
that just seems dumb because people are going to be able to block it, and there's no way you can do it. But
it has dash, so that means colorless red.
And that's a new mechanic, right? Like,
no.
It isn't?
No, it came out. It was Khans of Tarkir.
Oh.
That was the red, black, white. Mardu did that.
Okay.
And so it comes into play. Does it say cast? So it's casting it from your hand, puts it into play, gives it haste, and then it goes back into your hand at the end of turn if it doesn't die.
Yeah. So you're doing this. Obviously, the first time you're doing it, they don't see it coming. After that, people kind of know. But fucking A, you're getting a treasure token and you're getting a cast.
Give it double strike.
Pew pew pew.
So I think this is a not worth $110 utility creature.
But I think modern is what's driving this one a little bit more. I think people think that this is going to be used more in that format, and maybe others. I don't
know. I think there's just a bunch of people that want to make Monkey Pirate decks.
I definitely think it's 99. I don't think it's
Yeah.
Commander, but I think it's a
I have
unique.
no interest in Commander.
A 99 though, it's pretty cool. Like if this is just in part of your red deck, like somebody's all tapped out, tap 2, boom, hit you, get a treasure token. At the very least, you're getting a treasure token. That's pretty cool. Goes back to your hand, and you wait until the next time somebody's open.
And then like that kind of thing happens, and it's cool because it avoids the wraths.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody does wrath, you can just like boom, got you again.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a cool card, but it's not worth $110.
Yeah.
Don't pre-order it. Like, and this is on card. We're looking on Card Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's not worth that. Somebody else on our Discord said it's pre-ordering for $65 somewhere. I still wouldn't pay $65 for that anywhere.
Just wait.
Maybe $20. I wouldn't buy it at $20, but that's probably where it should level out at.
I will say, and I don't know if this is going to stick this way, out of scrolling through everything else has 4 different versions of each card. This one only has the 2. It doesn't have an old border with it, and so you don't get the old
alt art.
Yeah,
full borderless,
and you just have the regular. So there isn't as many as everything else. So I don't know if that is playing a little bit into this, but we'll see. Okay, so how do you even say that word? Of the sea and sky.
Savaloon, the sea and sky.
Of the sea and sky
right,
is
I like
2
it.
blue and a colorless for a legendary merfolk god. We have a god again, but doesn't have godlike qualities. But I guess the indestructible part. It has indestructible as long as you control 2 other merfolk. When it attacks, draw a card. Other merfolk you have ward 1, which means they can't be targeted unless they pay. Or it counters it, right? Because the target spell, it counters it. So that's one thing that we're having to kind of learn a little bit with the league stuff. Is a lot of times it's like, oh, I do this, and it's like, well, did you pay the other? Oh, I didn't realize it had that. Well, then it's countered. It should be countered. It shouldn't be like, oh, I can't do that. It's different than you must pay 2 to target. Like what is it? Frost Titan is the paying 2. This actually counters it. So if you kind of fuck that up, it should be actually countered. So anyways,
cool.
The main part of this is it attacks, you draw a card. It has indestructible if you're playing a merfolk deck. Is this a merfolk lord? That's a pretty good commander. Gives you a little bit of draw on it, and it gives you a little protection. Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess the best spot is for either
Commander.
For a merfolk deck.
Yeah, tribal. I think so. Like going with Ward, I like Ward a lot compared to Shroud or Hexproof. Like it allows somebody to interact with your creatures, but they have to pay more, and then like the countering part versus just can't do it. Like if they screw up, they screw up. So I like it a lot more as a gameplay mechanic.
I think it's gonna have a lot more butthurt people because I know I've fucked it up once already.
People hate Hexproof because there is no way, like it just blanks removal.
Right. Yeah, but you know the part where it's like, oh, I'm gonna cast a spell on your dude, and it's like, well, did you pay the one more? No, shit, it's countered.
I've screwed up on Frost Titan so many times.
Yeah,
I'm just like thick. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Next one is fucking broken.
I think this one's mine. Is it broken? Are we talking about Sithis? Harvest Hand?
It's just good. It's just good.
Sithis, Harvest Hand, green, white, 1/2, nymph. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So it's a legendary enchantment creature.
Really good for enchantment stuff. It's nice.
Yeah. Whenever. It's not just like 1 per turn. It is a legend. And so having
it is a cast trigger, so if it gets countered, you still get the draw.
I like it a lot. 99 and Commander for sure.
Commander.
Yep, I agree. It's pretty self-explanatory. We don't need to go in depth with that. But the next one is Thrasta Tempest Roar. So this is 10, 2 green, 4/7/7 legendary creature dinosaur. It costs 3 less for each other spell cast this turn. It has trample, haste, and trample over planeswalkers. So that's a first. So now if it's doing excess damage over the planeswalker, it does it to the player as well. It has hexproof as long as it enters the battlefield this turn.
Yeah.
99.
It's just 99.
What?
You don't think this is a commander?
I would say it's...
Oh, you think it's
Muff garbage?
You think it's muff garbage?
It's a storm card that doesn't say storm on it. You know what I mean? You need to be casting, and to lower it by 3, you need to be like casting it by like 1 mana spells.
But in a dinosaur deck, is this going in a dinosaur deck?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this goes in Gishath where you cheat it out. Right? A 12 mana for a 7/7 trample haste. And hexproof, as long as it came into like that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
the first part doesn't matter. Trampling planeswalkers doesn't really matter. So it's a 7/7 trample haste for like 12, maybe less if you cast another spell. But like spells also cost mana.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not free unless you're doing 0 drops. But yeah,
are you playing Affinity here? Like artifact. Oh, I'm playing Thrasta for 2 green. Nah.
Yeah.
To me, it's garbage unless it's in.
I'll keep it there for you. All right. What is our next one? Is that you? Yeah, I did the dinosaur.
Torok, Dread Cantor. It is colorless, black, 2/1 human cleric, legendary creature. Kicker, it's black. Protection from white. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a 1/1 counter on Torok. And then when Torok enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target opponent discards 2 cards at random.
Croxa is gonna love this guy.
Whenever it discards a card, put a 1/1. Yeah, it gets huge quick.
Mm-hmm.
Pro white, so it can't just path or swords.
I'm 99, but I'm definitely not commander on that guy.
Yeah, I agree. You put this next to like in a wheel deck. Like put this in Nekusar, where you're just like Wheel of Fortune. All of your opponents discard 4, 8, 12 cards. You just made it a 14, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's big, right?
Yeah.
For 2 mana? Fuck.
2?
That fucks. That's solid.
That's
one of my favorite. When Jaw did that on Discord, I was like, oh, I like that. I like that.
All right. Your Surrey.
Sirius, this is a card.
Flame. This is fucking awesome in my
all right.
Okun and Zender split deck. 1 blue and a red flying 2/3 Efreet. Whenever it attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5. Flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, deals 2 damage to you. If you won 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying its mana cost. And it doesn't include the cards that you necessarily draw. Like, you draw, but it can include all the other stuff that's in your hand as well. Winning 5 flips is kind of crazy unless you have Krark's Thumb out. But still.
I think I saw that foil Krark's Thumb was up to like $200.
Well, I'm rich.
But I don't know, if that was just like an artificial spike.
The regular Krark's is like $30-$40 at this point.
Yeah.
I remember I picked up a bunch of those because they did something. And I got like 30 of them for $1 a piece or 30
like
cents.
$1 or $2.
It was ridiculous.
It's wild.
But this is amazing in Zender Split and Okun. Like, that's just, you do all 5. You take at the most 10 damage if you don't have Krark's Thumb out. But you're also, your Okun and Zender Split stuff is going on. Like, this just
drawing
fits in
cards
perfect.
and doubling power.
This, in my opinion, doesn't take over. You play Okun and Zender Split over this. This just becomes a part of that. So in that, I still think it's a 99 over. Like, you play those 2 over playing this.
I agree.
Okay. And then the last one, Lowery. This one's fun because we have a new commander that I like.
Zabaz, the Glimmer Wasp. It is 1 colorless, 0/0 insect, legendary artifact creature. Has modular 1, so it ETBs with 1 counter on it. And sorry, I shouldn't have probably skipped that. If a modular triggered ability would put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature you control, that many plus 1 1/1 counter is put onto it.
It comes in with 2 then. Right?
Okay, so it's a 2/2.
Or is it saying it's the triggered ability is when one dies and it does that?
1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature you control, that many plus 1/1.
Yes, it would be triggered, so it's when it dies. It isn't ETB, right?
ETBs are triggers. I'm just not sure if it's counting itself. But maybe. I don't know what the specific wording of modular is, because some cards say it comes into play with it, so it's not necessarily an ETB, I don't think. And then some say when it comes into play, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it doesn't have the reminder text on what modular 1 is.
Yeah, I was about to pull up something.
I'll continue reading, and then you can. So you can pay a red, destroy target artifact you control. So that means you're sacrificing other modular cards, which would put all of those +1/+1 counters on something, +1 from this. Or you can pay a white. Zabaz the Glimmering Wasp gains flying until end of turn.
So it has a built-in sacrifice engine on it.
Yeah.
Modular is this enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, you may put a 1/1 counter on target. You may put its 1/1 counters on target artifact.
So to me, I would say like it's coming into play with it. It's not necessarily a trigger.
Yeah.
But that
and
death
the trigger
trigger
is
from
when it dies.
modular
Yeah, that's how
would
I
happen.
Read it too. If we're wrong, leave a comment in the YouTube thing, and then number 2 can also text us
just
as well.
keep your comments to yourself if we're wrong. I don't.
You remember how our first episodes was like, don't say anything mean to us.
No, yeah. If we're wrong, let us know, and then we'll try and remember to say something about it next week. But that is
so
the last one.
The cool thing about Zabaz is like now we have a modular kind of commander, and it's chosen its colors now. It's red and white, which makes sense with artifact stuff. I can now turn my 60 card deck of modular into a deck maybe, but I don't know if there's enough support of good modular.
You plan on
cards.
making 2? You're gonna go
No,
Shadowfang and
no.
yeah. So you're not doing this, Zabaz.
No. But it is
Commander.
It is a commander. It is the commander for modular. So we have finally a modular commander.
But there's only like 9 other cards with modular, so
you got to figure out some adding counters. And
like it
stuff
just doesn't
that.
like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There just isn't enough support for it.
All right, that was it. Right, we're done.
And,
we're done.
and
That was a long episode.
That took us like almost an hour. I guess we get to cut some time off for when we went and get more drinks,
More beverages.
But
again, get to the end of the episode here. Jump on the Salty64. Remember, MTG, hashtag MTG Salty64. That's where you guys can, where you vote is actually hashtag vote Salty32, but the Salty64 is where you guys can name what card you think is going to make it to the end and maybe potentially win something. But jump on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, just make a fucking burn account or if you do have a Twitter account, make another account.
Well, I mean, we do want to do this potentially more.
Right.
In the future. So if you just it doesn't have to be a burner account, but just one you don't use and you just come and vote.
Yeah. Just
That's
follow
cool.
us. And that's all you got to do.
We won't judge you. Yeah.
We'll only, we only post porn
if we're the
pictures every
only ones
once in
that
a
they
while.
follow, those retweets mean nothing.
Yeah, exactly. The retweets are not going anywhere into the void. Retweet. All right. You did
All
it.
right. Good job.
You did it. But seriously, go on there, vote. That's the best way to spread the word of the CommanderSmiths is retweeting that with the one that you think is going to win. And then just vote.
I mean, you could just tell your friends that you play with too. Just be like, "Hey, I listened to this." Dick
that was
joke
the other thing I was gonna say.
podcast.
Share that. If you don't
just
necessarily want to, just
people.
share that. Hey, here's a voting for the salt. We really want to see what the saltiest cards are going to be. I have an idea, but we'll see how this all turns out. All right, that should do it for this week. Next week we are doing a top 10 from Modern Horizons 2. So
yes,
that'll be fun, and then we'll break down this bracket as well. So
yes.
All right, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega. Oh shit! I gotta get.
All right.
Nope.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.